Shalom, everyone, and welcome. Today I'm going to do a book review, and it is the Handbook of Jewish Renewal, a path of transport. Let's go here and let's take a link. Guys, this is where I struggle here, but we're going to do this real fast here. Dun, dun, dun. I hope it's sharing. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, this should be what's showing right now. We should be here right now. All right, the Handbook, the Jewish Spirituality Renewal, a path of transformation for the modern Jew. And you see right here, we have a Kindle edition and a paperback at a very good rate. I did not get it at this good rate a few years ago, but author Segal is the author's name, and he is a rabbi up in Hilton Head, California. I have talked to him on a few occasions. I can just tell you he's a very, very good man. But this book is definitely one for the price here. And I didn't know the price here when I actually saw this. But you see $10.24, and here's the link, and I will put the link also in the description of the video also. So let me stop the share here. It's not stopping. All right, here we go. So I'm going to read a little bit from this book. Now, many of you don't know what maybe the Jewish renewal movement is. And what it is it is one of the more liberal branches, but yet also they're, to me, as far as the world of Judaism today, and with outside of community, and you want to connect to spiritual like Kabbalah and stuff like that, it's very good. It is very, like I said, very left leaning. And if that bothers you, well, be yourself and just follow and learn from them. But I really enjoy a lot of the stuff that I read from them and everything. But this book is fabulous. And I'm not going to, no way am I going to read the whole book to you today. But I do want to share with you some of the first chapters to get your interest into this, because I really enjoy it. Jewish spirituality renewal is not new. In one way or another, Jews and the Hebrews before them have tried for thousands of years to live a more spiritual life. This was to better cope with the difficulties that have always been present in our world. Some Jews, then and now, have succeeded in finding a way to live happy, joyous, and free with inner shalom. This is despite a tumultuous world seemingly at war with itself. This world can feel like a generally miserable place without spirituality, and this is so true. The simplest way to define Jewish spiritual renewal is called the process by which one returns to a Judaism that is spiritually and loving. This Judaism is not overly demanding. This Judaism does not have a stern God who is ready to punish you if you use the wrong plate in a kosher kitchen. There are a number of methods by which Jews have achieved renewal. Some have turned to the mystical of Kabbalah, or the Muser of self-improvement programs of Rabbi Israel Saltiner, Lithuania, 1810. Others found the meditation schools that were commonly there in the 300 year between the time of Hanukkah and the Roman dispersa between 165 in Judea. Others tried doing the Orthodox Baal Teshuvah process. Modern Jews have lived in their lives liberally with regard to Jewish faith, and will find these methods somewhat daunting. Hence, I have written this book with a step-by-step process, easy to understand and to implement. The results are well worth the measure, and they are. This book is for Jewish men and women of all ages who have arrived at a decision to experience an enrichment of Jewish faith that presently is missing from your life. In other words, you're just missing something, and you want to find it desperately. Do you count yourself among them? Do you want to live happy, joyously, and free? Do you wish that your relationship with family and friends and co-workers were based on love and service, free of ego, arguments, resentment, and feeling of being involved? Do you wonder if you can learn and give if you can give without expecting something in return? Do you feel lost when it comes to figuring out how to live such a life? So that is some of the things, but here's what I wanted to, let's see here. Hold on one second. Uh, let me see. It's very important what I wanted to read here. Okay. This is actually from chapter 1. In my work as a rabbi, I have had opportunity to counsel modern Jews who seek a more spiritual Jewish experience, a renewed relationship with God. When I use the term modern Jews, I am referring to Jews who consider themselves anything but strict Orthodox. This includes the secular as well as those who follow a normative path of Judaism. As we travel down this path together, I find that the misunderstanding of God and of Judaism is a common obstacle for many of my students. The problem is that God they have known and whom they have been taught throughout their life seems not to be the kind with whom who you would embrace or have a closer relationship. This is not of their fault. Wow, something that is not the Jews' fault. Nor is it surprising, since the end of World War II, for obvious reasons of survival, Jewish education and thought has often played greater emphasis on the state of Israel and the Holocaust than the true Judaic study, and social activities at synagogues are put before spirituality. Remember Hebrew school? As kids were sent 1, 2, 3 days a week after regular school to learn just enough to make our parents and grandparents proud when we became bar or bat mitzvah. Some of us did it up on the bina, the pulpit, for Jewish confirmation. We were looking for a soft and easy way to get through the Hebrew school that couldn't wait for class to be over so we could go out and play with our friends. Some of us continued our Jewish studies. Some of us stopped doing studies any further. Hence, most of our Jewish education was best at a level of an 8th grade dropout. When thinking of God, today's adult Jews, it is too often thinking of the God, listen to this. When thinking of God, today's adult Jew, it is too often thinking of the God of the Hebrew cult, as defined by the so-called Jewish Bible, or more correctly, the Tanakh. Let me take a moment and define the Tanakh, as we will refer to it regularly throughout this book. The first part is known as the 5 books of Moses, or the Torah scroll. The Tanakh, other 2 parts are the Nevi'im, the prophets, and the Ketuvim, the writings. For most Jews, Judaic study has been limited to parts of the 5 books of Moses, with their bar or bat mitzvah, haftarah portions from the prophets. The God to whom we are introduced to in the 5 books is, to put it candidly, pretty ornery. This is the judgmental God with a bad temper, and one with the penchant for smiting people, even whole worlds, if they don't follow his ways. In the story of Noah's Ark, we saw him destroy the earth in a vast deluge. We saw him intentionally confuse the language of the Tower of Babel's builders so that they could not communicate with each other. He then scattered the people all over the earth when he saw him smite the firstborn of Egyptians and drown their soldiers in the sea. We saw him kill everyone who disagreed with Moses, and even killed the 2 priests who brought a wrong formula of incense. The God described above is the God of the Hebrews. He is not the universal God to whom we wish to be closer. While we can find passages in the Torah telling us that he is merciful God and slow to anger, a reading of the text might lead to one to think, well, that might be very well, but apparently he skipped his anger management class. And let not forget the God of the Hebrews also demanded animal blood sacrifice. Are you starting to see the picture? The problem that my students face, and perhaps you as well, is that they are trying to live a happy, joyous, more spiritual life by getting closer to God, but they are not finding the merciful, loving God that they seek. The God they see, well, intimidating to say the least. In addition, few are teaching them how to live a more spiritual life. This is very little prayer taught in the 5 books, and the relationship with God was only accessible via the intercession of priests for the average Hebrew of that time. The expectations were the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Jacob's son Joseph, Moses, and perhaps Noah, and a few others had a personal relationship with God in the 5 books. Hebrewism only allowed the followers to access God through the priests. The priests' intercessors heard God's message only through Moses and later through the prophets and judges and the 2 other books of the Tanakh. So we don't have to go on any further with that. But this is very important because this is not just based upon just Judaism. This is not a dump on Judaism whatsoever. But we see this within Christianity and in Islam also, because you're told that, you don't really have access to this. This is not for you. You just need to pray. I mean, I've been told by many rabbis, you just pray and do good is all you really need to do. But that's not what the Creator wanted. Creator, when even in the stories of the Tanakh, Torah, when he gave the Torah on Mount Sinai, he wanted all the people to come up, but the people didn't want to, and they gave their authority to the prophet, to the priest at that time. Well, it's time that we take this back, because I don't know that there'll ever be another temple built. And if it is, who knows what's going to happen with that. So it's time to stand up and take responsibility for your life, your spirituality, and to take upon and find and search. And it's not an easy search. And there is heartache, and there's a lot of sadness and loneliness in this journey. But if you want to find the truth, and you truly want to find joy in studying, and joy when you find light, not darkness, or even when you find darkness and you're able to put things together, this is the journey you should be on. So I encourage everyone to get this book. Rabbi Author is a great person. The book is very cheap, and I promise you, you will enjoy what you read in this book as far as dealing with spirituality. So I hope you enjoyed this. And until next time, let me find my mouse. This is always a problem too. There I am. So until next time, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Get the book. Have a great day. Thank you.